You don't have to think about it. Only because we're thinking about it, it's getting all distorted in the mind. Otherwise, biology is quite clear-cut. There is no need to exaggerate it, nor to… Yes, there is no need to play it up or play it down, it is there to the extent it is there. In different creatures, it's at different levels. In different human beings also at different levels, you just do it, leave it at that level.
Let's take a decade back. The word peer pressure was the next big thing. Everyone said you shouldn't succumb to peer pressure, you shouldn't listen to what your peers have to say, they're probably ill-intentioned and ill-mannered. But we've reached a point where our peers don't have to say that to us anymore. It's internal validation. We do things to validate ourselves. And that's in some form or the other, way more dangerous than a peer telling us, because we can stop them. The voices in our head, we can't. So how do we sort of cope with internal validation?
I think
or the necessity for internal validation?
I already said that most people don't need enemies. They're just doing great by themselves. Now, see, when you say you're a human being, also connected with the previous question also because you're still not fully settled. When you say, I'm a human being, you have a body, you have an intellect, a bunch of thoughts and certain penetration of intellect, you have emotions, and you have a consciousness behind this. Suppose we were some other creature, let's say we were buffaloes, then body would be the most dominant thing in our life. Biology and body is the dominant thing. Mind, intellect, not that it doesn't have, it has its own mind, but small. Emotions it has, but still not as big as the body. Consciousness it is not truly aware of. So essentially, body is the front end of a buffalo. What should be the front end of you among these four things?
The mind, of course.
No, that's why it's a mess. You don't do guesswork, tell me.
I would go for the mind. The mind first.
If you say the thought process…
Thought process, yes.
See, your thought is a consequence of the data that you have gathered, isn't it?
Yes.
In this many years, I will assume you're 18, okay, just for safety, for my safety. In this little bit of time that you have, from birth to now, whatever data you have gathered, permutations and combinations of that is what is coming out as thought process. Thought is not coming from somewhere else. Yes? Only from the data. Do you believe you have all the data that is necessary to know the nature of your existence, the cosmos and the beginning and the end of everything? No. Whatever, if you've read the libraries of the world, still what you have is a minuscule. From this minuscule, you generate thoughts and you say, that should be the front end of your life. This is a European ailment. It's the Europeans who said thought is everything. You know Descartes? Yes. You are not philosophy, right? What are you? Science? Okay.
Avid philosophy.
Okay. Descartes said, I think so I exist. I'm asking all of you, is it because you exist you may think, or because you think you exist? Which way is it? Because you exist, you may think. Because most people are in a state of mental diarrhea all the time, they think thought is an eternal process. No. See right now, if my hand starts jumping all over the place, what do you think? You think I have an ailment, isn't it? So if your mind starts jumping all over the place, what should I think? You have an ailment. Only thing is, everybody is like you only. That's how everybody is, so it looks like normal. That's how it is in an asylum. Just because everybody's hand is jumping like this, does it become normal? I'm asking you, does it become normal? With hand, it's very obvious and visible, but if you pay enough attention, it is visible, isn't it? So your thought is an outcome of limited data. That can never be the front end, it's very, very small. Why thought became so significant in the world is because of European system of education. Why in Europe thought became so important was, they went through a few centuries of very dogmatic religious imposition. They were not allowed to think for themselves. So somewhere in 1700s, they broke away from that. They started thinking for themselves, it looked like liberation. But now the same thought is freaking people to death. See, if I leave you alone in a room all by yourself, I will give you food and shelter and everything, all good care for you. Only thing is, nothing to do. You will freak yourself to death, believe me. So, with that kind of a mind, you want that to be the front end? So, thought is a very, very limited thing. In the yogic culture, there is no significance to thought. We don't care what you think and feel. That may sound a little abrasive, but why I'm saying this is because we know what you can think and feel. It does not mean you are ever exploring anything new with your thought. You're only recycling the old data bin that you have. Endless recycling of what you already have. Nothing new will ever happen. This is why societies are going on talking the same rubbish forever, centuries after centuries, they're discussing the same damn thing, we still can't figure out. Well, the most fundamental thing, the biology, sexuality, we can't figure it out after millions of years of existence because thought-based. If you pay attention, simply you know what it is. You don't have to think about it. Only because we're thinking about it, it's getting all distorted in the mind. Otherwise, biology is quite clear-cut. There is no need to exaggerate it, nor to… Yes, there is no need to play it up or play it down, it is there to the extent it is there. In different creatures, it's at different levels. In different human beings also at different levels, you just do it, leave it at that level. It's just one more aspect. It's a physical platform for our existence, biology, isn't it? Now, you must decide what should be your front end. You must decide.
I will… So, pretty…
See, it's not me who's dodging the questions, okay?
To be honest, I think it's still unclear to me, to be very honest. But I think the tangent that we will have to discover will
No,
come
there
in
is no
time.
tangent. I'm just asking you, is it true these four dimensions are there to you?
Yes, very much.
What should be the leading edge? That's all I'm asking. What is the tangent about it?
I still stand by thought for some reason. I'm probably terribly wrong, and I will probably discover it in time.
Is it true your thought is coming from limited data?
True, yes.
So, if you're coming from limited data, is it true that you can never ever explore anything new?
You can always widen your data. You can always go out there and learn and study.
That is experience.
Correct,
See, please
yes.
understand, life is happening in three fundamental dimensions. Why in this culture, all this Trishula, Trikala, Trinetra, all this three is, because essentially your life is happening like this. There is memory of the past, there is experience of the now, and there is imagination of the future. These are the only ways life is happening. But people can sit here right now and suffer what happened 10 years ago.
Yes.
You can, you also can. And people can suffer what may happen day after tomorrow already.
Yes, exactly.
So if you're suffering what happened 10 years ago or 10 days ago, what happened 10 years ago, does it exist right now? No. So you're suffering that which does not exist. Please, psychologist, please tell me, if somebody is suffering that which does not exist, what's the terminology for them?
Like, you tell me.
No, I'm only asking for technical terminology. If someone is suffering that which does not exist here, what is the term, psychiatric term?
Paranoia? Yeah.
You
Having
can…
my teachers help me a little.
You can call it whatever you call it. I call it simply insanity. No, that is a very strong word because it will not help your practice if you call people that. But the fact is, if I am suffering something which is not here, it amounts to insanity or no? Yes. So if I am suffering what happened yesterday or what may happen day after tomorrow, I am suffering something which does not exist, isn't it? So essentially, there is… in this form of education, you have done no work as to how to manage the intellectual process. No work, simply it's going mad all the time. You don't know what is memory, what is experience, what is imagination, it's all mixed up. In this state, this intellect is not a possibility, it is only trouble. I must tell you this, 4 months ago, I think 4.5 months ago, a television anchor in Andhra Pradesh, a 34-year-old woman, she jumped off the 5th floor and killed herself. She left a note saying, "Nobody is responsible for my death, my brain is my enemy." Can you beat this? Well, she articulated it, but that's the truth with a whole lot of people, 90% of humanity. Their brain is their enemy. They don't need any external enemy. If they sit in one place, they poke themselves. So she killed herself, and this… I don't know if you saw this handwritten thing went all over on the televisions and everything. Well, this brain is the most bloody precious thing that you have. It took millions of years to manufacture this brain of evolution. And today, it's become your enemy. Obviously, there is no stabilizing factor inside. When we say stabilizing factor, we are not talking about taking tranquilizers or having a glass of something to become stable. There is a dimension beyond all this. It is on the platform of this life, we have slowly built this body, we built this mind, we built these emotions, isn't it? Isn't there no concern about that platform that you call as life? If we just attend to that, all these questions will just vanish. People were asking me when I was at the Anna University day before yesterday, "Sadhguru, how come you can answer every question?" I said, because till now, nobody asked me a question that I myself did not ask to myself and to everybody around me. I had 1 billion questions, nobody answered. Then I realized the questions are all coming from a wrong perspective. Because there is no profound experience of life on the surface with information that I have, I am manufacturing questions and questions hung like a dark cloud around me when I was young. So I said, till now nobody has asked a question that I myself did not raise. But why? If I raise the question, the next generation is raising the same damn question, that means we are not learning a thing from each other, isn't it?